Hello, I want to do a quick book review of this book. This is The Graces by Laure, published by Faber and Faber. Very newly released, lots of people talking about this, lots of people talking about its beautiful cover. There's a few different versions of this. I think the American version must be different, but yeah, very pretty, very lovely, and they sent me all sorts of related gift seashell jewellery things whenever I was sent this book, so that was really lovely. Thank you. This book is about 400 pages long and I would describe it as a young adult book. I have read Laure previous books and they were young adult books and I enjoyed them. The Graces refers to three siblings in the town where our narrator is living. She is the new girl at school, however she's been living there for about a year, so it's not really that new kid at school trope, you know, I don't fit in, I don't know anybody, I can't make friends. She has been there for a while when the narrative picks up at the beginning, so she does know some of the other characters in the books and she has sort of forged these desires. The particular desire is to be friends with the Graces. Three Graces are Thalia, who's the oldest sister, Fenrin, who's the brother, and then Summer, who's the youngest of them, and she's the same age as our narrator. Now the narrator doesn't have a name in the early part of this book until she gets to know Summer and they slowly become friends, and she sort of tells Summer in these kind of pretentious teenage conversations that they have that she doesn't feel like her name is really her, so she's thinking about changing it, and Summer's like, oh, what do you want to change it to? And she says River. So from that point onward she has a name in the book and her name is River, so that's what I'm going to be calling her for the rest of the video. I thought the setting was a little bit hard to pin down. It's a seaside town and I assumed it was in Britain just because of how the characters talked and how their school was written about, I suppose, is the main thing. It was a few weeks ago, so I'm just kind of trying to remember, but I've read other people's reviews where they describe it as American, so maybe everybody's got a bit stuck there. Anyway, so the Graces are witches, or so rumour has it in this town. Everybody's obsessed with them, there's rumours about them, they're kind of hypnotic, and River, who lives alone with her mother, has heard these stories. Her mother would prefer she wasn't friends with the Graces, but she secretly sort of embarks on this mission to change herself and become the type of person that they really need in their very closed off trio of friendship and siblingship. River is slightly in love with Fenrin, and this kind of starts out as an annoying love story infatuation kind of trope. A lot of that, I'm not like other girls, you know, I'm the girl he needs, when he has me everything will be fine, blah blah blah. I don't want to spoil anything, but there is a twist that kind of turns around that YA love story stereotypical element to it. But I'm still not sure that the twist justifies how Fenrin is characterised up until that point. I'm not sure. If anybody else has read the book, maybe we can talk about it. The narrator isn't likeable at all, in my opinion, and I'm not someone who, if the narrator is a bad person, I hate the book and I think it's a bad book. But she is dishonest, she does change herself very quickly, she's kind of manipulative, and interestingly I guess she alludes to this dark secret past the whole way through the book, and eventually that too is uncovered. And the last sort of third of this book, everything kind of happens and there's twists and turns. The ending itself is probably highly unbelievable, even if you do believe in magic, but it is well paced, it's well executed, it's well written, and so it kept me with it until the end. And also I read this book really quickly, which was nice. I like the theme of alienation and how River's kind of ulterior motives to change herself and become friends with the Graces are really just rooted in the fact that she needs a friend. And I've talked before how I like writing about that really obsessive, intense female teenage friendship that happens, and I really see this in this book between Summer and between River. Hippie names! In terms of magic and in terms of witches, I think I was probably expecting a lot more supernatural elements in this book, when actually it's not really like that. It's contemporary and it's realistic, and I felt that the magic wasn't really, you know, wands or finger snapping or anything. It was a lot more muted than that. It was a lot more believable than that for the most part, and for some people that will be a negative aspect of this book, and some people will like it. It'll make it easier to jump right in there. I'm just flicking through and I realised I said it was 400 pages long, but there really aren't that many words on a page, and like I said, I did read it quickly, so don't be put off if you don't like long books. It's not actually a long book. Overall, I like this. I'm not sure if I would read it again, and there is going to be a sequel. I'm not quite sure when, but I don't think I would be inspired to reread this before reading a sequel. I'd probably just jump right in. As always, there will be a link in the description for more information about the book, and thank you to Faber and Faber for sending it my way for review purposes. Consider it reviewed. If you've read The Graces, let me know what you thought. I was telling somebody the premise of it and they were like, oh, so it's like Twilight with witches? And honestly, that's not a bad comparison. I know that probably has so many negative connotations, but if you're sort of trying to picture what this book is like, Twilight's a pretty good place to start, combined with all like your favourite 90s witch fiction, and you're pretty much there. Cool, I will see you soon. I'm going to film another book review right away, so expect that in a few days. Hope you're good. Thank you. Bye.